Hey, folks, thanks for joining us. We'll go ahead and get started now. Welcome to the monthly Prime Guidance webinar, where some of our consultants and myself talk shop regarding all things marketplaces. And today we have a special guest, Carrie Miller, on. Welcome, Carrie.
Hey everyone, so glad
Hey,
I'm happy to
Carrie.
be here. Thanks for having
Yeah,
me.
great to have you. We're gonna mix it up a little bit different today. Today we're gonna really kind of pick Carrie's brain. You know, what's new with Helium 10, anything that's upcoming, different ways that our customers are able to fully leverage Helium 10, and then we'll shift into more of our standard talk shop topics. So again, welcome, Carrie. So glad that
Thank
you're
you.
here. I'll really allow you to kind of share any maybe recent updates people may not be aware of, or what have you, and then I'm sure we're all going to be picking your brain.
All right. So I have some updates, and then there's one tool I feel like is a sleeper tool that I wanted to talk about because some people don't even know it exists. So
Right.
sometimes there's things that have been around for a little while, but then you guys kind of don't know about them. Maybe they just kind of didn't get communicated well enough. But
Mm-hmm.
I'll go ahead
Mm-hmm.
and share my screen.
Perfect.
Okay, so this is the login for Helium 10, and the first one I'm going to start off with is my absolute favorite tool, and it's the historical trend in Cerebro. Okay, so I'm actually going to just paste an ASIN. This is our coffin shelf ASIN, and I'm going to hit get keywords. And for some reason that did not work. Uh-oh, let me go from here. Let's see if I can just go from here. Then Cerebro. Some sort of bug on that other screen. Okay, so here we go with a Cerebro search. I've just did one ASIN, and this particular strategy works best just one at a time. We are going to improve for a multi-search, but this is the historical trend. Are you guys familiar with the historical trend?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
This is like probably my favorite tool ever, and
We
so I
love it.
always
Yeah.
just start with it because I've seen a lot of insights, and I've been able to kind of go back in time to see what was, what's done well and what's not. One thing, like for example, I was keeping an eye on this one, and I saw May of 2024. I mean, this is a coffin shelf. All of a sudden, it had like a pretty big spike.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you can look in here, and I realized that May is Mother's Day. And so maybe there's some mothers out there that are really into Gothic decor or something like that, because it's a coffin shelf and it sells year round, which is interesting. But you basically can go back in time to any month in the last 24 months, and you can see where any ASIN was ranking organically and where they were showing up for the sponsored ranks. So you can filter it, by organic rank here if you want to. You can, filter based on, the phrases containing. Sometimes I'll do like gifts or, Prime Day because I want to see Prime type keywords or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
kind of like to filter that way, and I find so many keywords. And a lot of times it's funny because the strategy people say is like, you can do some auto campaigns, kind of see you can fish some new keywords and find things that people are searching for in the holidays. But with this, you can get ahead of it, and you're already knowing what people are probably going to search for with this information. And you're pretty much ahead of the game for, Q4, for Prime Day, for
Yeah.
Black Friday, for all of those. So I would say this is a sleeper tool. Unfortunately, I think a lot of people don't
Mm-hmm.
pay attention to it. So I always call attention to it because it's probably one of the greatest tools, and you can go back and see search volume. This is going to be the highest search volume of that month period. That's what we took to just kind of show what the potential is for each of those months. So that's what the number is that you
Mm-hmm.
see here, because usually it's like a 30-day average that you're going to see on there on Cerebro. So we are going
Yeah,
to
we
be, sorry, what?
I was just gonna say we've always told our clients, like, capture data. Like if you're going through July and Prime Day impacted performance, make a postmortem. What keywords produced the best results?
Mhm.
What did your competitors do in promotional activity, and so forth. And so oftentimes every year is a new learning experience, and they don't take the time to go back and look at the historical data or the historical points that they've captured. And you guys have done a great job making it easy to say, okay, you may not have done this and captured historical data at that point, but we've done it for you. So at least go back and look what terms did work last Halloween, what terms did work last Father's Day, or whatever, when people are searching differently. And all of a sudden new keywords surface once again. Things like you said have giftables, or terms that are related to Prime Day. So we love it. We're a big fan of it, and I'm glad you brought it up, because if not, I was gonna make sure that you covered this one, because I think a lot of people really don't understand it, or just don't take the time to leverage it.
Yeah. And I mean, it's also good if
Mhm.
anyone wants to sell a seasonal product, because,
Mhm.
say you're trying to source something for the summer. Well, you're not going to see the summer searches in December. So this is exactly how you're going to see what the keyword demand is for those types of products too. There's just a million things
Yeah.
you can do with this particular tool. And you can export the data. It does go back 24 months, but say you wanted to save it for longer, you could export the data and save these. I always
Mhm.
like to look at competitors for sure. That's where I've really kind of grown a lot, is seeing what competitors were targeting with their sponsored ads during the
Mhm.
holidays, especially, because it gives me an idea of where I was, not, I was basically missing out on a lot of sales. So I love this tool. So yeah,
Yeah.
if you haven't played around with that, definitely play around with that. Okay.
That
So
that what that last point you just made, real quick, I want to add to it. It's like having an auto campaign where you're asking Amazon to find the terms for you, but you have to spend money to get that learning.
yeah,
This is giving you that learning based on what your competitors have already been doing, and during the peak period that you're trying to look at, like we talked about. So it's a no-brainer to make sure you're leveraging that.
yeah. And not only that, you can create some like evergreen type campaigns. And so say you want some,
Mhm.
giftable terms, and you start that in September. Well, you're going to be at the top of the search for the sponsored ads. You're going to have a lot more kind of history in your campaign. And so you're going to have more likely chance to be at the top of the search there, and just kind of organically rank there. So it gets you ahead of them, because when you're doing that, when people are searching, you have a lot more competition. It's going to be more expensive. So
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah, so it's such a good tool.